Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Josie's Point of View, where we focus on human interest stories from the Carolinas and beyond. Today it's Saturday and it's January the 27th, 2024. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're new to my channel, I'd like to extend to you a warm welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you find the information here to be informative. And if you're a returning viewer, by all means, thank you for coming by. I always say the tide changes so frequently here on these YouTube streets. So you always have to acknowledge where your support comes from. And I want you to know I sincerely thank you for your support. Feel free to like and to share this video. And don't forget to subscribe. And our story today comes from Greenville, North Carolina. Take a look at the headline. And it reads, Newborn baby found abandoned in dumpster and updates a North Carolina safe surrender law. I'll provide you with a summary here, and as always, I'll place links to a few of the full articles in the description box. Today, I wanted to use this video as a teachable moment. Every now and then we need to remind our community of the current laws as it pertains to children. And in this particular case, we're addressing the issue of an unwanted newborn. First, I want to discuss a recent finding, and then I want to provide updates to the North Carolina Safe Surrender Law. This year, a few updates were introduced, and it's very important for the public to be aware. Since the year is still just a few weeks old and this information may not have been disseminated to the lowest possible level. So some people just might not know. And as always, feel free to share and to use for your group teaching activities because this can be the key to saving another newborn from danger. Now, it was a cold Sunday morning on January the 14th, which is about 2 weeks ago, when police received a call that a resident had found a baby inside of a trash dumpster close to a nearby apartment complex in Greenville, North Carolina community. That morning, the temperature registered just around 40 degrees. The young woman who found the baby, who, by the way, was still alive, she took that baby inside her home and contacted the police. And when police arrived, they determined this was a newborn no older than maybe 1 or 2 days. The Greenville Fire and Rescue Team transported the newborn to a nearby hospital for evaluation and then transferred it to Child Protective Services custody. Now, at that moment, police were unaware of the baby's identity and the mother was also unknown. But a subsequent search of the neighborhood led them to locate a mother who was identified as a juvenile. In fact, what was specifically reported was that the mother is a teenager, but an age was not specified. And at last we heard the newborn was doing very well. A gender was still not identified, and it's unknown just how long that newborn had been in that dumpster. But if it was a blessing that this young woman just happened to be there, and would be nice to know what alerted her to noticing the newborn in the first place, but we'll probably never find that out. And at this present time, it's still unknown whether any charges have been filed. And I'm sure since this involves a teenager, that information will not be released to the public. What we learn is that the Department of Social Services is indeed involved. Now, let's be real. A newborn baby discarded like a piece of trash and left inside a dumpster on a frigid morning in January. And had it been a trash pickup date, that baby would never have been found, most likely. So without question, there probably will be charges filed, but again, because of the age of the mother, that will be handled outside of the public view. And it's obvious we need to do a better job of keeping our community updated and what can be done if a newborn is not wanted by the parents, and hence a teachable moment for today. And that brings us to the second and very important part of this video, and it has to do with updates to the North Carolina Safe Surrender Law. Now, as you probably know, each year our legislators determine whether changes are needing to existing guidelines aimed at protecting children from harm. And this year, there were some changes that lawmakers in our state believe will help keep more babies alive. In other words, the law was designed to better protect children from harm or babies from harm. And again, we're specifically addressing the North Carolina Safe Surrender Law. Now, you should know that every state has some type of law in place to protect newborns, but our law is a bit different from others, and that's why it's so very important to understand how the law applies to the specific location where you reside. Now, while some places or some states may have what's called a safe haven law, where it specifies where a newborn can be left, our law here in North Carolina is unique in that it specifies individuals rather than places. And if you're a bit confused, just stay with me for a few more minutes. It will become very clear to you shortly. So let's take a few minutes to review highlights from the North Carolina State Surrender Law. And if you wanted to look up the entire law, I've provided that information here for you as well. So again, the law specifies that a mother can safely surrender a new baby and not face any type of charges. But the key here is that the law specifies who and how, two very important components we need to understand. First, it states that a new parent can safely surrender a newborn up to 30 days without any questions being asked. And this is a change because previously the age was 7 days or younger. Now, lawmakers have extended the age to 30 days or younger as long as there's no evidence of abuse. And secondly, which is just as important as I mentioned earlier, you cannot just leave a newborn someplace and walk away. You must give that child to a responsible adult. Again, it is not appropriate to just leave that child someplace and walk away because in North Carolina we do not have a safe haven law. We have a safe surrender law that specifies the baby must be surrendered to a responsible adult. And that's what I meant when I said that North Carolina law specifies people rather than places. And in case you're wondering who can be that responsible adult for a safe surrender of the newborn, well, the law stipulates it can be just about any adult or a trusted individual who the parent may feel comfortable with, or it could be a healthcare provider, could be a lawyer, a teacher, a doctor, a nurse, an EMT. It's just the list goes. This is just a few examples, and it's definitely not all inclusive. It says any responsible adult means just about anyone who's willing to take care of the child and ensure his or her safety. And if by chance you just happen to be that responsible adult, you have a very important role. One, you need to contact the authorities immediately. Your role is then to keep the newborn safe and warm and release that child to law enforcement officials when they arrive. They'll probably arrive with EMT, but your role is to release that child, that newborn, to the law enforcement officials when they show up. Now, I want to make sure I don't overlook another important component. Now, keep in mind, this exchange can be anonymous. The parent does not have to give you their name and does not have to tell you why they're releasing their child. Now, they don't need to tell you the child's name. They don't even need to tell you the child's medical history. The law specifically states that process can be anonymous. However, it does not mean if the parent shares information with you, the responsible adult, that you would not accept that information. The key then is to document as much as you can and pass that information along to law enforcement officials. And before I close, I wanted to present two possible questions and along with the appropriate responses. I figured after reviewing the short video, you may just have some questions. And here's the first. Can a parent reclaim a child after safe surrender? The answer is yes, but that's for the courts to decide. You know, Department of Social Services or Child Protective Services and an appropriate judge that's assigned to the child's case will determine how, if, and when that's even possible. But based on the guidelines, there is a possibility. But then again, there's certain circumstances I'm sure that will be considered before that's even done. So it's not something we should go into in this video. The second question, what can be done to improve this process? And the key is to increase awareness, make sure more and more people are aware of it. We need to spread the word, because by doing so, people will become more aware that the age range has gone from 7 days or less to now 30 days or less. And that information hopefully will promote what it was designed to do in the first place, is to keep more newborns safe from harm. And that's all I have for you right now. Feel free to leave me a comment below and let me know what you think about this video. And by all means, feel free to like it and to share it. And if you haven't done so already, I want to invite you to subscribe to my channel by clicking on that red subscribe button. It's on the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. And if you click on the bell that looks just like this one, that's the notification bell. If you click on that notification bell, you'll be the first to know whenever a new video is uploaded. I thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.